Welcome to another episode of The Woman Behind the Brand, which is brought to you by Dorcas Pittman International and Hope in Her Coaching. I am Dorcas Pittman, your trauma transformation coach, and I help women who have been silenced by trauma reclaim their voice and repurpose their pain so that they can maximize their potential and lead God-inspired and purpose-driven lives. This series is all about highlighting the women who are building these amazing brands and impacting the kingdom of God like never before. Today, I get the privilege and honor to interview my big sister. I consider her my big sister. I'm the oldest of my siblings, so I have a whole bunch of big sisters God have blessed me with. Deb Howard, aka the Money Mastery Coach. I'm so excited for this conversation. I hope you are as well. So, Deb, I am going to yield the mic to you so that you can introduce yourself.
Good day, all. Yes, Deb Howard, Money Mastery Coach. I help fantastically amazing Bible-believing women like yourself to resolve their conflicts with faith and money so they can get out of debt and live their most abundant life. I am so excited to be here and so glad that this woman of God, Dorcas, allowed me on her stage. Yes.
Yes. Yes, of course. Thank you for accepting the invite. Thank you for all you do for the kingdom. And I'm excited about this interview. And so one thing that I do with every person, I ask them to submit a song that is their go-to song, their motivation song, the song that they play when they need a pick-me-up, when things are just looking like, and you chose The Champion by Carrie Underwood featuring Ludacris. Why that song? Why is that your go-to song?
That's my go-to song because, it really details in my mind anyway, my life of ups and downs. Of course, my favorite part is Ludacris, I mean, what's not to like, right? But just that the theme of it, unbreakable, unstoppable, invincible, that I can do anything. And I think the important thing about it is that, the things that I've been through in my life, and I've been through a lot, they have made me stronger, right? And they have made me a champion in my own eyes, in my own life. And so I love the song because of that. There's just so much power in it. There is so much power in this song. I know a lot of times as believers, we want to just look for Christian songs, right? We only want to look for gospel songs. But this song to me is so powerful, and it really helps me to get my energy back up. It also reminds me, especially when I'm having a bad day, y'all, it reminds me that, girl, you've been through a lot. So what you're going through today is nothing compared to what you've already overcome. And it's through the power of God, of course. But sometimes, we got to remember to strengthen ourselves. Like David said, encourage yourself, right? So this song really encourages me, and that's why I love it so much.
That is so good, Deb. And I see why you love it. And I am compiling all the songs, the motivational songs that my guests come to the show with. And I'm going to put together my own, motivational playlist because you're right. Oftentimes we want to go toward the gospel, the music for inspiration, but there's so many other songs out there like The Champion by Carrie Underwood that will inspire you, that will give you that thing to keep going, to get up and keep fighting, because we are champions. We are overcomers. We overcome by the blood of the Lamb. This is all God, and we have to, when we understand who we are in Him, we understand that we are champions by birthright. So that is a great song to have as your motivational piece, and I'm excited about using that song when I need to be reminded that I am a champion, because in this world of entrepreneurship and in this world in general, we go through things, we get knocked down, but we have to get back up. Failure is not in falling. Failure is falling and staying down. And so when you are a champion, the greatest champions, those who, I think about boxing, they get knocked down for a second, but they get back up because they realize they are champions. And in order to be that champion, you have to get back up. You have to get back in the game. You have to keep pushing, and you have to move forward. Win, lose, or draw, you getting up is basically the sign that you are a champion, because champions don't give up. Champions come back, they're resilient, and they keep it going and doing the doggone thing. So that is super dope. So one thing about the Woman Behind the Brand is basically, a platform for women and people in general to get to know the essence of the woman who's building the brand. And you, as the money mastery coach, that is such a great thing. Oh my God, that's a ministry all in itself, because as believers, we have to be good stewards of our finances, but and also as entrepreneurs, we really have to be great stewards of our finances, because we're the boss. We're the ones that are, bringing in the funds and all those things. And so, I want to know what motivated you to become the money mastery coach.
Great question. I think what motivated me is, probably my own childhood, my own life. Um, Gosh, I mean, I know it started in childhood because, we didn't have a lot. But as I grew up, some of the thinking, right, from childhood, our parents can only give us what they have. So what they gave me was a strong work ethic, but not much information about money. Right. And so when I got out of high school, I made all of the mistakes. I got all the credit cards, got all the student loan debt, got all the things that a person would want, right? Thinking that, hey, now I'm grown, I can get all this debt. Woohoo. I didn't think of it that way, of course, but but that's what happened. And anyway, long story short, I got into a lot of debt, got married, got in a whole bunch more debt, and something very unexpected happened. My husband died. I was 33, 34, somewhere in there when it happened. And now he's gone, didn't have much insurance money, and tons of debt, tons of debt. And I'm trying to I had two kids. I was taking care of my parents, who by this time in life, my dad was disabled, my mom couldn't work, and I had two of my teenage brothers that were still at home, and they were all living with me. We had just purchased a home 6 months before, way more than what we could afford.
Mm.
And it, it was tough. It was tough. Um, yeah, it was really hard. But long story short, because I could go on with this story, but long story short, I did learn about money. I kind of made it my business too,
Mm-hmm.
to learn, how to manage money, how to deal with money, how things work, right? Because a lot of times, especially in the African American community, we don't understand money. We really don't understand interest and how credit card companies make money and how these loan companies make money, payday
Mm-hmm.
loans, because I've done all of that. Payday loans, pawn shop, I've done it all. And it's anyway, I'm keep myself calm because I get mad, really. It's really just anyway. So I went through all of that. And I got myself out of debt. And yeah, it was hard. But I got myself out of debt. And once I did, the ministry I was at during that time asked me about teaching. I was in ministry at this point, but it just really became a passion for me because I could see the harm that ignorance was having on all of us. I knew how it hurt me. And I wish somebody would have been at my side, before I made some of the stupid decisions that I had made. And I wish I understood the Bible more, right? Because a lot of the wisdom that we need is in the Word of God. And so, anyway, I started teaching at the church. I came up writing a Bible study at that ministry regarding, finances, money management, what the Bible says about money, how to give, just all these kind of things. And so, yeah, that kind of has led to this, all right, become a money coach And so, yeah, I've just really followed my passion, and it's always interesting how God does things, because I didn't realize that it was a passion really until people start telling me that you sure like to talk about money. So, yeah, that's pretty much how that went.
Wow, that is good. And using, basically, that's what it's about, using our own experiences, our own testimonies, and all of those things to be an encourager, to be a testament to others that, hey, I've been there, done that. I did all this. I was in debt up to my, I was drowning in debt, but now I'm able to teach other people how to navigate their finances and master our finances and be those good stewards. So there was so much that you said in that answer, and I really want to unpack that. I know you mentioned that your parents gave you what they had, and that is a lesson that I learned later. Well, maybe about 3 years ago. In the midst of me going through my own healing journey and wanting something that my parents weren't able to give me. And oftentimes we put our parents on those pedestals. We put those expectations on our parents because we have this idea that they should give us this, they should give us that, but not realizing they can only give us what they have. And so, and money wasn't in most, I'm sorry, and not sorry, but in most African American families, we don't talk about finances. There are so many things that we don't talk about. And so having to change that narrative. And like you said, you didn't learn about it. I didn't learn about it. I went to college, I got that credit card and all that good stuff. I've done the payday loans, like you said, and just really navigating through life and just making it and just making it. And so thank you for bringing that, that point that our parents, they gave us what they had, and they didn't know. So we don't know what they were dealing with financially. We don't know any of those things. So how can they teach us how to master our finances when they probably weren't masters of their finances themselves? And so,
Mhm.
hey, that is something that we as adults now, and even anybody, you have to look at it from the perspective that sometimes people can only give you what they have, and you can't
Exactly.
expect them to give you any more.
Exactly. Exactly. And, this is probably, obviously I'm a different season, but my parents didn't finish high school.
Mm,
My mom dropped out of high school to marry my dad, who dropped out of high school to marry her.
wow.
So neither one of them graduated high school. They were very smart individuals, though. My dad was great uh, money person with what he knew. Right,
Mm-hmm.
he built a business. He lost a business and built a business again. So he was smart, but the intricacies, right, of just money management and how the system works. They lived on cash, which was great until it wasn't, right?
Yes.
Until they didn't have it, and then they lived on, hot checks during Christmas.
Mm,
Um, my dad would be so stressed sometimes during those seasons when money wasn't as fluid, right, as available.
yes.
They always wanted to do for us. And so at holiday time, at Christmas, we always had a big Christmas. But I would see my dad. Now this is back in the day. Some of y'all listening probably like hot checks. Okay, back in the day, you can write a
Look,
check
hold
at an
on. I was
establishment.
look. When you said that, I was like, I was trying not to show it on my face because my face will be tore up in a minute. But I was like, okay, hot check, and I had made a mental note to go and look that up afterwards
Let me
to
explain it.
see what a hot check is, because this is the first time I've heard about a hot check.
Yes,
So
yes.
please enlighten the youngest or people like me who's wondering what is
Yes.
a hot check.
A hot check, yes. I mean, it was gone by the time we was writing checks, but back then, um, computers weren't as prevalent, right? So when you went to a store and you wrote a check, they literally had a book. It was like a green book, and they had, I think, I don't know if they had account numbers, but anyway, they would look in the book to see if you were listed, and that would determine whether they would take your check.
Mm.
So you'd write a check, it would probably take a week or two before the check hit the bank.
Wow.
So, hot check, parents would go Christmas shopping, Christmas Eve, write a bunch of hot checks. Checks meaning they didn't have the money in the bank. But the plan was that when the check returns, because it would take probably 2, maybe 3 weeks for the check
Wow.
to go to the bank, and then they send it back to the store. Then the store would call you and, hey, you got this check. Then, it might go to collection if you didn't pick it up fast enough. But yeah, yeah. So sometimes, and I'm not even kidding, my parents would still be paying for Christmas in the summer. They'd be still
Wow.
picking up those hot checks in the summer. And, I was old enough to understand that. I knew that's what was happening. And my dad, oh my God, he would be so stressed. It would be all over his face. And yeah, I knew at that moment, really, even as a child, I don't want to live like this.
Yeah.
I don't want this life. I love my parents. They were great parents. They really were. But yeah, they were willing to do whatever it took
Mm-hmm.
to make us happy, even if it was temporal, right? Because y'all know
Yes.
how Christmas is. Child, we probably be broke that stuff up before they paid for it.
Oh, I have a 4-year-old and a soon to be 8-year-old, so I know.
Yes.
I know about Christmas. Yeah, that
Yeah.
part.
Yeah. Yeah. So them not understanding money, um, they taught us how to work. All my
Mm.
brothers, we know how to work, but the money part, we know about saving money because dad was good at saving money, but he really didn't teach and didn't know, right? How much
Mm.
more to give. And so I could easily say, as people do sometimes, it's my parents' fault, blah, 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 blah. I mean, they can only give you what they have.
Yeah.
And I too have had to tell my kids that, you know more than me. I can only give you what I had to give. And I know they gave it out of love. I know
Yes.
that, that whatever they gave us, they gave out of love. So
And that's the thing, you said, I don't want to live like this. So they, oftentimes they don't teach you how to do something. They teach you how not to do something.
yes, yes, so true.
They teach you how not to do what they did. You look at your parents and you look at how they handle certain things. Like you said, it was summertime and they were still paying for Christmas from the year before. And if it's summertime, that means Christmas is going to come
Mm-hmm,
again soon.
mm-hmm.
And so, as parents, we're kids. We get so excited about Christmas. And I guess I have kids now. When you can't buy Christmas for your kids, I can only imagine. So them writing those hot checks, um, that was them doing what they felt needed to be done to show their love, to provide those things, those luxury things, because it wasn't a necessity. It was just a luxury
Mm-hmm.
um, thing. And so, like I said, you learn a valuable lesson from that. Is that's not how you want to live, and you've allowed your experiences to mold you into the money mastery coach. And so you can teach other people how to master their finances. So kudos to you, Deb. Kudos to you. Look,
Thanks.
look, hey, we gotta and it's breaking those generational curses
Uh-huh.
and everything. And generational curses comes in so many different ways. And so that is the awesome part about it. This is a great conversation. And one thing you said earlier, you mentioned earlier, your husband did pass away when you were in your early 30s. And you talk about there wasn't enough insurance money.
Mm. Yes, yes. I don't
I,
even know what to say about
I
that.
know, I would say I worked in the life insurance industry for over 10 years. So I get it. I
Mm-hmm.
get it. And so I want you to tell the audience, because nowadays a lot of people still don't understand the the importance of life insurance.
Mm-hmm.
I remember, someone said, "I'm not getting life insurance. I'm gonna be dead. That's gonna be their problem to bury me. They can throw me in a pine box and keep it moving." But it's not so much of leaving a whole bunch of wealth. It's more so making sure
Mm-hmm.
that your family can keep going
Mm-hmm.
with the loss of that income.
Mm-hmm.
And so,
Absolutely.
yeah, I just want to, talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, sometimes I feel like, yeah, I should get an insurance business myself. Let me tell you, we only had the policy at my husband's job. Now we were young, okay, so I just 30s, right? Um, a lot had been going on, because my parents had to move in with us and my brothers and all of that. So we needed a bigger home. We were renting. When we decided that we would purchase the home that we couldn't afford, we cut back on some things, right? And that was
Mm-hmm.
one of the things. We cut back on insurance because nobody thinks they're dying in their 30s. And so when he passed, the important thing about insurance, and let me say, I know you said it's not about leaving. It is. In the Black community,
Yeah.
we need to stop being selfish, stingy folks. Come on. If you're not going to be here, you should love the people that you're leaving behind enough that you want to set them up. Other communities do it,
Oh
right?
yeah.
They do it. They leave an inheritance. What is wrong if you're not a millionaire? What's wrong with leaving $1 million policy to your dependents? I mean, what's wrong with that, really?
There's nothing wrong with it, at
It's nothing.
all. And
And we
thinking about,
shouldn't.
yeah, and thinking about, that's one thing I made sure of, that my husband and I, we're one income household. And I'm running my own business. I'm an entrepreneur, and so I'm getting my business up and running. And even though I don't work a 9 to 5 or whatever, I still have life insurance, and I'm going to keep life insurance because even though I'm not here,
Hmm.
I'm not going to just leave them with nothing.
Yeah.
And my thing is, I got, my husband and I talk about it, okay, you pay off the bills, we pay for the funeral, we pay off the house, you pay all these things off, and there's, you have a home, that's collateral right there, that's money in the
Hmm.
bank.
Hmm.
But also, setting up something, kids are gonna grow older. You want to be able to, even though you're not here, provide certain things for your child. I have life insurance policies on my kids. It's a whole life. When they hit a certain age, they get the money.
Hmm.
And that's the thing about it. People say, "Why do you have a life insurance policy on your kid?" It's a life insurance policy, but I pray I never need it. And when they become of that age, they can get that 25,000 or $50,000, and they can make a down payment on a house,
Yeah.
or all those things. And so you're right. That's what it's about.
Yes.
We work toward generational wealth, but when we pass away, it doesn't mean that we can't still leave a legacy of generational wealth.
Absolutely. And we should want to do that. And if you have a family like you do, Dorcas, you should absolutely have insurance. If something happens, and it may not be death, maybe it's disability, right? You
Mm-hmm.
need that income. You're right now, your lifestyle is built upon your income. So you should have a policy minimum, right? 10 times your
Yes.
salary minimum, right? Just to be even. We didn't have anything near that. I had enough to bury him and a few dollars left over, right? I was thankful for that, because so many times we leave here and don't leave any way to even bury ourselves. I mean, don't do that, y'all. Whoever watching this, if you don't have insurance or at least some kind of pre-need plan so that people aren't frying chicken and selling dinners at the church to put you in the ground, don't do it. It's just, yeah, we just have to love each other enough for that, and I think that we do. I just think that we sometimes think we have time, and the one thing that we don't know that we have is time, right? That's the one thing we don't know we have. You have this moment, and maybe this moment, right? But other than that, you don't know. And
You
I
don't
think
know.
that one of my passions really when we talk about money, because I'm African American, because I'm a Black person, I'm more passionate about it in our community.
Yeah.
Because in our community, not only do we have a lot of myths and ignorance around money, but it's so normal for someone to pass and not have money for the funeral. I mean, it's sad, right? And
Hmm.
we can do better. We can. Some of that Starbucks money and McDonald's money could be going towards an insurance policy, right? Now, if
Hmm.
you got a good job and you can put away the cash, that's great. But many of us need to have a policy. I don't work for the insurance company, y'all, but I am passionate about that because if you knew the struggles that I had and the pain, and there is nothing worse than grieving and having to worry about money. There's
I,
nothing worse than that.
I can only imagine. I think about like my family. My uncle passed away in 2020. It wasn't from COVID, but he had a lot of health issues and everything, and he had a small policy, just enough to bury. But when he got it, it was just like he passed away within that evidence of contestability.
Mm-hmm.
Thing. And so my family having to scrounge up money or figure out ways to bury him because, hey, funerals are not getting cheap.
No.
They're not getting even cremation.
Yeah.
It's not cheap. I think cremation is like $1,500 or 2,000. It depends on. But a lot of people don't have that amount of money just laying around in the bank. and
Absolutely.
and so having that security and having that life insurance, that's a part of being mastering your finances. Part of being a money mastery, because it's you don't want to leave that debt, you don't want to leave that worry. Like you said, it's enough already to grieve, but like
Mm-hmm.
you said, to grieve and be worried about how you're going to pay to bury your spouse, or how you're going to pay the bills right now, and all those things. That is a lot on anybody. And so thank you for talking about the importance of that, because a lot of people don't see it. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need that much life insurance.
Yeah.
But you
It's very common. Yeah. And you don't know you need it until you need it. So
I'd rather have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
yes.
Because like you said, people are dying younger and younger. Oh, I'm young, I don't need a life insurance policy. Like my sister Coach Stacy would say, that's a lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
No matter how young, like I said, I've had life insurance policies on my kids since they were like infants.
Oh man. Yeah, that's
They
great.
they infants. Like I literally got a policy. I mean, they were maybe like 3-4 months old. My
Yeah.
daughter's 8 now, almost 8. My son is 4. And so it was, yeah, they're kids, and I pray I never have to use it to bury my kids. But like I said earlier, that's a part of being good stewards of my
Mm-hmm.
finances,
Mm-hmm.
and making sure that I have things in place
Mm-hmm.
for their future and other things as well. So that is, oh my God, I pray that whoever's watching this, they are learning, they are taking notes, they are, taking heed of the information and really digesting it and sitting on it and understanding that money mastery is more than just what you have in the bank. Is so much more than that. And so,
Absolutely. And let me just add, a lot of times, especially those of us who are of faith people,
mm,
we tend to discount the importance of money, right? Oh, I just need Jesus, or I just need love, or I just need the Holy Spirit. You do need all of that now. But the Bible also says that money answereth all things.
mm,
And let me tell you, it is an answer. And I'm going to just give you this one example after my husband passed, I guess about maybe a year or two later. Y'all, I hadn't slept probably in 6 months. I
wow,
was just so stressed. And I remember one Saturday morning, I can't believe, Lord, you're making me say this. I remember one Saturday morning, my mom, everybody had left and went to church. And I thought, I'm just going to lay in the bed. And at this point, I'm on antidepressants. I've got something to sleep, something to wake up, something something for everything.
Everything.
And I remember looking at those sleeping pills, and I just took a whole bunch. I just thought, I just want to go to sleep and not wake up. It was just so much. You know, I'm still grieving. I really didn't have time to grieve
Mm.
after he died. I had to go to work. Y'all, I didn't have the
Mm-hmm.
money. I had to go to work. We bought the house in June. He died in November.
Wow.
And we was paycheck to paycheck as it was. So now I don't have his paycheck. So that Saturday morning, I took a bunch of pills, and I thought, I just want out. They'll be better off without me. I got insurance. um, but the power of God, it wasn't time. So I have a friend that lives a couple of blocks away. If she ever watches this, she knows the story. And I remember her calling me, and I said, "Oh, I'm taking a nap," because I just wanted to. I was just ready to go.
Go to sleep.
And the next thing I know, the ambulance is in my face. I went to sleep, but something told her to come to my house.
Wow.
And she got in this house. I don't even know how she got in the house to this day, because nobody was here. But she got in the house, and she said, when I got there, I knew the Holy Ghost told me that you were in trouble, and I tried to wake you up. And when I woke up, I mean, who was waking me up? The ambulance people. Were in my house, in my
Wow.
bedroom. Everybody's around me. I went to the hospital, all of that. Of course I lied. They said, "Did you try to kill yourself?" I was like, "No," because they said they would keep me for 72
Oh
hours.
yeah, yeah. That
And
for a
I didn't,
psyche valve.
yes. And I didn't want my parents, I didn't want anybody to know. This is probably only second or so time I've even told the story.
Mhm.
I didn't want anybody to know. So I remember she took me, she had me with her all day. We left the hospital. And I still had my pajamas on. Child, we went to the store, went everywhere, because she didn't want me to be alone. And I thank God for her. But I say that to say, don't tell me that money don't answer things.
Yes.
Don't tell me
Yes.
money is not important, because my life would have been, that day would have been completely different. Maybe,
Mm-hmm.
right? Maybe if wasn't so stressed out about how I was going to take care of things. All the weight of the world felt like it was on my shoulders.
That's yeah. And it was on your shoulders because now your husband's gone and everything, the weight of the new home, the kids, the everything is on your shoulders. And when we go to sleep, we don't think about things.
No.
We don't think about things. And you, like you said, this, you can't believe God got you sharing that. And you haven't talked about it. I've never heard you say that. And I've heard your story, the things that you overcome, the passing of your spouse and all that. But that is what the woman behind the brand is getting to know the heart of that woman, the essence of you, and you sharing that and being vulnerable and being transparent. It is in those moments that the listeners, the viewers, they get to see your heart through your words.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a pivotal point in my life. Um, and that was really the point that I knew I had to take control.
Mm,
And, I went through a lot of things just with my emotions, just because the starting point being that I couldn't grieve the man, the love of my life, y'all. I mean, we had a great marriage. He was a good man. Um, he was the love of my life. He really was.
mm-hmm.
And he died on a Sunday. It was the Sunday before Thanksgiving. We buried him the Wednesday before Thanksgiving.
Wow.
I went on a Saturday and preached or ministered at some church in the middle of nowhere, and went to
Wow.
work Monday, um, because I didn't know what else to do.
You were just moving.
And I did that. I just kept going. I kept going. And anybody who knows anything about grief knows you got to stop and do it at some point. It doesn't go away, right?
It
You got to
doesn't.
you got to do it. But it was the money problem, right? Because, my dad, I had all these people, right? My dad was handicapped and they needed help at times. And my
Mhm.
parents, I didn't know what else to do. But in that moment, that Saturday, driving around town with my friend, um, I knew that, you're going to have to take control, sis. You're going to have to figure this stuff out. You can't keep going around scared to answer the phone, scared somebody coming to get the car. I'm hiding the car in the garage. I mean, just all of
Oh,
that, all of that life. And I couldn't do it. I remember telling myself, you didn't want to live the life that your parents lived, stressed
mm,
out all the time. And I didn't. I didn't want that life. Um, so yeah, that was really a point where I knew that if nobody else learned about money, I'm gonna learn. I'm gonna figure out how, number one, to get out of debt. Number two, to live within my means. I'm not gonna buy things just because I want it. My parents were good parents, but they were simple people. As a lot of Black people are, right?
yeah.
Buying the big cars, the big purses, the nice stuff, and broke us. I don't know what. No, I refused. And my mom, bless her heart, she lived with me until she left him. Um, it would drive her nuts because in her eyes, you can do that. Gabby, go on and buy that. Go on and get that. You want to escalate? Go on and get. No, no, no. Because if I can't afford it, if I can't find some extra somewhere, it's not happening, Jackson. I'm just not gonna do that again. And but I learned the hard way. I really did. I learned the hard way with that.
And what I love, and as I listen to you, you took the initiative. You didn't wait on anybody else. You said, you know what, I'm going to learn. Nobody else has to learn, but I'm going to learn because I don't want to be stressed. I don't want to live. I don't want to live this life. But it
Mm-hmm.
took you getting to that point for you to say, I don't want to live this life.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're not, excuse me, and you're not the only one. You're not the only one.
Mm-hmm.
But God allowed you to survive. Did you die? No. And now you're here teaching other women, other people how to master debt, how to master their finances, and how to take your struggles and your valley moments and those moments where you really didn't want to be here as fuel to be better and to help other people live a life that isn't stressful because of the lack of money or the mismanagement of money. That part.
Yes.
And you mentioned, you're right. A lot of people in the Black community, they want the big bags, the big cars, and I think about it's more of a status thing
Mm-hmm.
because we were oppressed, we were looked down upon, and all that. It's kind of like, oh, it gives the idea of, oh, I made it.
Mm-hmm.
You want to know how I know that?
Yes. We all do it. We all
And
do it.
it was those things. Like I remember when I got an Apple Watch and I went around my family and I'm like, okay, I got an Apple Watch, all these things, and it's like it's more so the giving people the image or the idea that you got it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
All of that stuff. I got this.
Mm-hmm.
Not realizing you really ain't got it
Yeah. Yeah.
because you're doing it. You're obtaining it for the wrong reason.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing wrong with, when you have the extra, treating yourself to that nice Louis bag, treating yourself to a brand new Apple Watch and paying cash for it. All of those things, there's nothing wrong with that. But when you pay for that,
Mm-hmm.
you don't feel it.
Oh, absolutely. And
That's
don't
the
get me
part.
wrong. I love Apple. I got a whole bunch of. I'm a tech. I love technology. I love big TVs. So yeah, please don't get it twisted. I'm not, poverty. There's not
Mm-hmm.
simplicity here, but it definitely is. It's just about making the right choices at the right time.
Exactly.
Right? You can have the Apple Watch. You can have the Louis. I like Coach. You can have the Coach. You can have all of that. But it's about timing. It's about making the right choices for your life at the right time. And there was a time, no, I couldn't be buying. No, you can't buy that. You can't have that, Deborah. No, you cannot. You don't have any money, right? When you borrowing money, like I was, to pay your light bill or pawning something to get enough money for the water bill, you don't have no money.
Mm-mm.
You don't, right? And I didn't have any money, and I would do stuff like that, y'all. The worst. I'm trying to tell you,
Robin, look,
the worst.
Robbing Peter to pay Paul.
Oh my gosh, I would be at the pawn shop to get enough money for a bill, and out shopping the same day on a credit card. Stop it. Stop it. If you're doing that, stop it. Yeah, it's
And
just not making
so many people are doing it, have done it.
yeah.
And like I said, when you learn better, you do better, and that's what we have to do in life. We want as we learn, you know, the reason why God holds us accountable when you know something.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know it, then how can you do something you don't know? But when you know better,
Mm-hmm.
when you've gone through those trials, when all those things, when you've been taught better,
Yeah.
okay, you're responsible. You can't blame it on your upbringing. You can't blame it on anything else because now you have the tools you need to move forward, to keep going, and all of that good stuff. And so that is what it's about. It's about getting the tools, retaining the tools, and then using the tools to be better,
Mm-hmm.
to provide better, and to impact those around you. So, boy, this interview has been rich. It has been good. I am enjoying myself. I'm learning things and, just really loving and honoring your transparency and your openness because like I said, people are drawn to real. People
Mm-hmm.
are drawn to people who've experienced those things that they are currently going through because you know where they are and you know where they want to be.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. And
Absolutely.
so, just to pivot a little bit, what is one of the greatest lessons that you've learned in your life? And how has that lesson impacted your life?
I think the the biggest lesson definitely would be that I'm stronger than I think. Um,
Mm,
I gosh, the stories I could tell. I've been through a lot, and there were times similar to the one I just recalled that I didn't think I would make it,
mm-hmm.
and I didn't think I could make it. But um, yeah, through the power of God, I made it.
Yeah.
And I say that in the context of I'm still here, right? Not that I've achieved some anything huge or anything, but that I'm still here, that I'm still in my right mind. um, yeah, there was a time, there was a season, and this is the honest to goodness truth. I would pray somebody would commit me. I would literally just imagine myself in some kind of asylum
Mm,
with nothing but just me in the room. I always wanted to get away. And sometimes when we're going through things in our life, um, money being one, but there were other things. You just want to get away, right? Just if I could just have some quiet for a minute. Um, yeah, yeah. And I learned through faith also that yeah, God is with me. And even if it looks like there's not a door in front of me, there is.
mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes we think that things are hopeless, and that's what gets us to the place of suicide, right? Because we think there's no hope. That's what got me there.
That
I thought there
part.
was no hope. There's nothing I can do to change this place that I'm in. And the truth of the matter is, I can't see anything, right? God knows what's ahead. I don't know what the next day is going to bring. I don't even know what the next second is going to bring. But being understanding through life, I want to say that because it didn't happen overnight, through life, that you are stronger than you think, and you can do more than you think.
Mm,
Even when the obstacles seem unbearable, even when sickness and distress and pain and trauma and all these things, sometimes they happen all at once, y'all. Happened to me all at once. I'm still stronger, right? I'm still more than a conqueror. I'm still greater. The he that's in me is still greater than he that is in the world.
mm,
You know,
that's so good.
it's amazing. We are amazing beings, right? We're God's one of his greatest creations. Come on now. He loves us more than the rest.
Of
So
course, I'm his favorite.
absolutely. So that was definitely a lesson for me. Um, that I still hold close, right? I keep it close because sometimes we forget, right? We forget how good God is, and we forget how strong we are,
Mm,
and how creative and smart, how much we have inside of us. And yeah, yeah. So I have to keep that, that yeah, I'm stronger. I am stronger. And that's why I like that song. I am the champion.
yes, 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 yes. And we just connected on a total different level. Because like I said, I didn't know about, the sleeping pills. And I totally understand no hope. Because for those of you who heard my story, that was kind of like my rock bottom. And oftentimes people would say, you have, live for your kids, live for all these things. But when you don't have any hope, God says he will give you hope and a future.
Yeah.
Not hope or a future, hope and a future. And where there's no hope, you can't see a future. And when you can't see a future, what am I here for?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What am I here for?
Yeah.
And so many people got to that point and are not here. But there are people like you and I that didn't die.
Yeah.
And, my brand, what I'm all about is hope. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so giving that hope, the woman behind the brand, is about giving that hope that I've gone through all of this, but look at me now.
Yeah.
You're building and you're taking everything that you've gone through, everything that you've experienced, and you're packaging it with love, with hope, with compassion, with grace, and you're gifting it to the world.
Yeah.
Our testimony is a gift. Our testimony is a gift. And, just like God gave his greatest gift when he gave his only begotten son to us, we are the greatest gift to the world by way of our testimony. Because it is our testimonies that bring more people to the kingdom. It is our testimonies that help other people heal and from whatever it is. Because our testimony is hope. It's hope.
Mm-hmm.
And, I love you even more. I honor you even more. You just peeled back another layer. And you just drew some more people to you.
Yeah, it's funny, Dorcas, because I think I've spent a good majority of my adult life hiding my story.
Mm.
Um, I've always seen it as so ugly and dirty. I mean, and I would look at myself and people would see me, right? And I would think to myself, I don't look like what I've been through because I don't look like I should have went through all of that.
Yeah, that part.
You know, and who would they even look at me the same?
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because I was that person, they're going to look at me different knowing that I've been through all of these things, that I've done things
It's
my
the
own
shame.
self.
It's that
Yeah.
shame that's attached to it.
Yes, yes. Especially when you're a person of faith, especially those who are in ministry, you know, some people are very bold. I wasn't. I didn't want people to know that side.
Mm.
I mean, what would they think? Would they think would they know that I love Jesus if I tell them that I didn't want to live?
Whoo, say that.
Oh,
Say
or
that.
I mean, what will they think? You know,
Say that.
what will they think? I mean, I was a teen mom. I was pregnant, walking the stage in high school. I I've cheated. I've stolen. I've lied. I've manipulated. I've done a lot of stuff, and I've also been a victim of a lot of things.
Mm.
And the story, even talking about it now, and I'm just talking about some pieces. I just think, so dirty, so
Look, I
so
want you to look. I want you
embarrassing.
to save that one because you're my next guest on my trauma taught me, and so I need you to save a little bit of that. Save a little bit of that
Right,
for
thank you.
that,
Oh, because I don't want to
but
start crying either. So,
um, but that's your heart. That's your heart. And one thing I've learned. So what? So what if I did that? So what if I was a teen mom? So what if I lied, I cheated, I manipulated? So what? And I say so what because he died on the cross for all of that. And repent and go the opposite. So what? So what? And the thing about it is, and that's one thing that kept me silent for so long, is that shame piece. Here I was ministering to other people, praying on them, leading them to freedom. And, a couple years later, here I am about to blow my brains out. That part.
yeah.
And so I get it. I get it. And that is why I do what I do. I do what I do. It is your truth. It is your story of survival, resilience,
Mm.
of being a champion.
Yes, yes, yes. I mean, I think about some point in the song, they knocked me down, but I get back up, man. And yeah, I've been knocked down a lot,
Mm,
and I might get knocked down a few more times before this life is over. But we get back up. I think
yes.
Donnie McClurkin had that too, right?
We fall down, but
Yes, we get up, we
get
get
up.
up, we get
I'm
up.
not, I'm not Donnie McClurkin or
I'm
Yolanda
not gonna
Adams. And
even try.
look, I know my look. I know my calling. That part. But this has been so great. This has been so great, and of course, I want you to come back and just share a little bit more about the woman behind the brand, because you are your brand. You are the money mastery coach. And there's only one, Deb Howard.
I think that's all
Ye-
they can take right now.
Look, that's why they said when God made me, He broke the mold. He said, "You know what? The world can't handle two of them. Come on now. I'm just gonna break this mold and throw it, throw it away. I got her. But yeah, thank you for like I said, thank you for being here. Thank you for your transparency. Thank you for just all that you do. This is about kingdom business and being good stewards of everything, of our time, of our finances, of all of that, of our lives, every aspect of our lives. And, a great man once said, we all need some help.
Yes. Yes.
we all we all need some help, and God always provide assistance.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
Deb, just let the viewers know how they can get in touch with you. I'll also put your information so that they can get in touch with you. But I want you to tell everyone how they can work with you, how they can follow you, stay in the know about everything you have going on.
All right. Well, you can always follow me on Instagram, Money Monologues, at Money Monologues. That's it. I also have a podcast. So if you're interested, check me out on Apple, Spotify, Anchor, the Money Monologues podcast. Those are the two best places. I have a lot of information on my Instagram page. Of course, I'm on Clubhouse, I'm on Facebook, so you can always look me up there too. But yeah, and I'd love to work with you. I'd love to get into the depths of what makes you make the decisions that you make,
Mm.
right? That's where it starts, in the brain. So look me up, follow me on Instagram, or, email me, whichever way you can find me. Do it.
Well, there you have it, everybody. There you have it. Make sure you follow Deb. You listen, subscribe to the podcast. I'm going to subscribe to the podcast as well because I'm just now hearing this. Sorry. But make sure you follow her, you get in contact with her, work with her, become one of the clients because we all need some help and God always provide assistance. And one thing I said earlier in a live I did, just be open. Be open to the fact that your help doesn't always look like or come packaged the way that you imagine it to. Thank you once again. Thank you for all of you who are watching, watch this interview. I pray that it bless you. Next week, we will be interviewing September Higgs. I'm excited about that. And so that will be a blessing. So make sure you tune in. And so as I close, I leave you with this. Give yourself grace because you won't always get it right. The grace that God gives us when we don't get it right. I am Dorcas Pittman, your favorite trauma transformation coach, and be blessed.